If you follow the 2022 midterm elections, you probably heard about confrontations at ballot boxes in Arizona.
Two men, armed, wearing tactical gear, watching voters. According to complaints filed and referred to the Department of Justice last week, one voter complained he was called a mule.
That was a reference to a movie called 2,000 Mules that came out in May.
What is a mule?
Person picking up ballots and running them to the drop boxes.
Here's the movie's central premise. Left-leaning groups cheat in elections by collecting and delivering thousands of votes with forged signatures to ballot boxes in swing states. The movie uses geo-tracking data from cell phones and video footage in 5 swing states to make its claims. But election experts and technologists have rejected the movie's deceptive narrative. Multiple news organizations report that the data in 2,000 Mules just doesn't add up. Even Bill Barr, the former Attorney General under President Trump, thinks this narrative is misleading.
My opinion then and my opinion now is that the election was not stolen by fraud. I haven't seen anything since the election that changes my mind on that, including the 2,000 Mules movie.
Nevertheless, conservative politicians and activists across the country seized on the movie's claims. They mobilized supporters to monitor ballot boxes to stop the alleged activity.
People have been organizing to try to watch drop boxes to prevent these so-called mules from dropping off ballots when the reality is there's not really evidence to support that is a widespread phenomenon.
Stephen Prohaska is a PhD student at the University of Washington. He's part of a group called the Election Integrity Partnership, and he studies how groups amplify conspiracy theories and disinformation online.
People they're not just like passively receiving this information, they're collaborating in both making it and then acting on it.
Digital and social media, he notes, enables activists to embellish the inflammatory narrative.
One of the things that does make the modern context a little bit different is the way that these platforms can provide a literal platform for conspiracy theorizing. It also allows for manipulation, and in a much more direct way than previously had been easily available.
Multiple articles have documented flaws in the US voting system, which leads to the question, in a complex world, just how are we supposed to quickly tell when something is a harmful conspiracy theory and when it's not?
One of the reasons conspiracy theories are dangerous is they're so close to genuine rational belief.
Thi Nguyen is a professor of philosophy at the University of Utah. He studies online communities, trust, and influence, and how influencers can manipulate that trust.
Actual reality involves this careful management of who to trust, but it involves substantial trust.
He notes that conspiracy theorists trust only a select group of people, and they find reasons to distrust institutional sources of information.
Conspiracy theories restore us to the idyllic world where we get to think for ourselves and make things clear and explain everything within our grasp.
It's rigged.
Bloomberg News found that conservative candidates routinely saw much higher social media engagement from election conspiracy posts than from any other kinds of posts. What these rigged election candidates didn't say was that all the claims in 2,000 Mules had been debunked.
Often conspiracy theories are what we would call dangerous speech.
Word choice and choosing when to speak out is important too, says Susan Benish, founder of the Dangerous Speech Project. That's a group of researchers who study the typical kinds of speech patterns and contexts that precede mass violence.
When they serve to teach people to regard another group of people as a mortal threat.
Benish says that when that happens, it gives individuals a justification to attack. That's what we hear in 2,000 Mules.
They have ruined Election Day in the United States of America. That's provable. And that's enough for me to fight the left with every fiber in my body.
Still, in 2022, voters rejected the conspiracy theorists, and Benish says that's significant.
The results of the midterms present a rare opportunity in the sense that they have convinced significant numbers of Republican leaders that dangerous lies are no longer a good way to get elected. But they need to be pressured to speak out publicly.
For Philosophy Talk, I'm Sarah Lai Sterland.